So this is part two. Part two. Yeah, so I was driving a van, and so I stopped at this auto place where I had the parts priced, and they was very pricey. So I decided, you know what, it's just not worth it putting all this money in this old van, conversion van. Now, he had it built out, and he was talking about what all he had in there. And, you know, of course, I was just going to rip out the old carpet, old stained carpet, and I was just going to put my own touches and stuff in there that I wanted to be, you know, in there. So I understand that he built it the way that he desired to build it, because he was, you know, driving it. He was not living in it, but he said he used it as a traveling van, and he used it as a work van. So I was like, okay, cool. So when I get it, I can just, you know, do my little touches and here and there, whatever. And so as I, you know, continued to drive the vehicle, I thought about it, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to change my mind, and I know it's something out there better for me, and I wanted at least a 2000 and something, you know, in case something go wrong, then I can pull over to O'Reilly's or AutoZone and get it checked out. So I was like, no, I don't think I want this one anyway. It's just too much problems and headaches already, and I'm just driving it. And so I had my brother with me, and he was like, you know, I told him, I said, well, let's just talk for a few minutes. I say, gosh, I really hate to break this person heart, you know, because I was really debating on getting it. I really wanted it, but when I got up under the steering wheel, all these problems and the money that I had to shove out along with the money that he was asking for, and he told my brother, no, he's not going to come down, because he said it's really worth $5,000. And I said, well, if he would fix everything on it, then yes, it will be worth $5,000. But you barely can hold it in the street, and it was safety was my issue, my concern, you know, because I travel all the time. Then I don't want anything that wasn't safe. I didn't want anything that would break down, and I would have to call, you know, a tow truck, and that was going to be more money. But thank God I have AAA. But, you know, those was my concerns, being on the road, and if I break down, you know, I'm by myself, and it just didn't add up to me. So my brother went and talked to him. He said, I tell you what, if you can come down on your price, then she may consider get the van, because she would have to invest money into the van. So, but you're asking for this amount of money, then it's not benefiting her, and it's not safe for right now. And he kept saying no, he wasn't coming down. And my brother said, well, okay, I understand that, and you have a good day. So we got back into my car, and I'm glad that my brother was with me, and my son. And I'm glad that I made that decision to not to get it, because I'm looking for something that is reliable, that is safe, and I don't need anything to get me to point A to point B. I don't need that. I need something that is reliable. And I see a lot of vans on well, this vehicle can get you to point A to point B. Stay away from those because they are not good. I don't need anything to get me to point A or point B, which I know I'm going to have to invest in it because it's used for one thing. And I always keep in mind, they just don't be selling these vehicles just to be selling them. Something is wrong, or they got tired of it breaking down. They got tired of investing their money into it, and they decide, go another route and get them a new one, or whatever the case may be. And I look at Bill all the time on Cheap Living, and he is so informative about living in vans and conversion vans and cars and trucks. He interviews people who have been out there, just started out, and they learn from him. He will teach you survival skills, and he will let you know what you need if you're living in a vehicle, what you need to survive while you're in that vehicle. Because most people don't want to shove out a whole bunch of money, over $1,000 and some dollars. Living expenses are expensive. And most people have, since COVID, been struggling, losing jobs, losing homes, losing vehicles. So what they doing now is living in their vehicles, or they RVs, or they buying RVs and setting up camp in them, and so I learned a lot watching him. And I look at women, there are more women out there than it is men just living in vehicles. And I'm like, okay, if it doesn't work for me, then at least I have tried it. I'm not saying that I'm gonna live this way forever. No, I'm not saying that, because I have purpose and a dream to get me a mobile home, a manufactured home, a modular home, or just something that I can live in that is nice, and I can save up the money, not only live in it, but I want some land, so I want to buy everything right out. I don't want to owe anybody for a home. I don't want to owe anybody for land. I just want to buy it right out. And sometimes we have to sacrifice those things. Sometimes we have to live in cars and vehicles and do things that we do not want to do. But just keep in mind, it's only temporary. And, it's a temporary thing for me. I want to get me some land. I want to buy things right out. I don't want to have to rent all of my life. I want to say, I own this, and nobody can't take it away from me. So that is my goal, is to get the things that I want. It's not because I'm homeless. It's because I made a choice to stay in a vehicle or a van to get the things that I want, and to stack up my money. You just don't want to get land or a vehicle to stay in. You want to stack your money and save it and invest it in different things, producing income. So that is my purpose of doing what I'm doing. I know I don't have to explain that, but it may be somebody that's watching this video and say, you know what, that's a good idea. It makes sense. I have seen and heard people have lived 30 and 40 years in one place and never owned it. Just think about all that money you have been spending for 30 and 40 years to the end.